And ladies, we are live. At least I think we are. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm not seeing it stiff, but I can see kind of a faded face.
Okay.
Kind of like we know what we're doing. So I will be going in on my phone so I can watch to see if anybody has questions.
Oh.
Hearing us, know that we are taking questions. We're doing a live with Audrey and Shirley. Yep, we're there. Okay. So I can watch for questions. And we're all set up.
Great.
Yay.
Did you guys get to, you're coming to America?
Yes, we are.
Week and a half. So are you guys worried about the weather yet?
No, we're not worried about your weather. We're worried about the weather we're going to have before we get there. We're expecting snow this week.
That's what I was going to say. Today we have 75 degrees and winds like crazy, and tomorrow it drops down to the 40s.
Oh, we're well down from there.
I don't know. When you do Celsius, it confuses me.
Yeah, no, we're on Fahrenheit, I think.
I've no idea.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I've no idea.
Nobody cares.
We don't care. We're from the north. We just know we maybe need to put another jumper on. That's how it works. You either put another jumper on or you take one off.
There you go. So I wanted to welcome you guys and thank you for doing this interview, because you're doing a lot of work here that will be going to support the nonprofit Resonant Essentials Esoteric.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
So we greatly appreciate it. And so many people are signing up. I'm so excited.
Which is
We
brilliant.
are.
We are very excited.
We are excited.
We're getting into that excited and nervous thing
Yeah.
that we usually do. I mean, you would never think that we've been doing this for over 40 years together as well as separately.
Yes.
About that. That's a good segue right into what I want to talk about.
Well done.
Did you guys meet?
My friend, who was now passed over, a lot of years ago, treated me to a psychic portrait for my birthday. And I wanted it done on my actual birthday, which was a Saturday. And at the time, Shirley's home situation was that her weekends were family orientated. So what happened was my then partner took me up to Shirley's, who lived quite a number of miles away. And Shirley had decided that if she liked the look of me, she would have to drive me home, which is very gracious of her. And I would like to think that the driving that she did that night was lulling me into a sense of false security, because there's been a couple of times when she's nearly slung me out the car. We've had a car door open on us going round a bend and things like that nature. But that's how we actually met, and from then on,
Was it the when I do you?
My daughter.
I wasn't going to say who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you came.
That's right. You drew on
Yeah.
before I got there, and it was just like looking at me as a child, but the hair colour was the colour of her father's hair. So she looked like me. She had her dad's hair.
That happened to me with Shirley, because she did the portrait of my great grandmother.
That's right.
My sister pulled up in a car and I said, "Don't move." I took a photo because the profile pics matched.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
You had never met my sister, so there was no way to know how good she is.
Well, you know, when you're working with spirit and they want it done right, then they'll get it done right. And it's really not about a wow factor. for me, it's more about, it's evidential that they are communicating. It's not like, oh, wow, did you see that? It's about, my word, this is all possible. This is all possible.
Well, and that's why you guys you've been training together,
Hmm.
sitting together for those 40 years. So, Shirley, did you help her develop her trance skill?
Yeah, I was the first person that sat with her once she decided, or she was told that she was that she was going to be doing that work. Yeah. And even though sometimes I moved over to Spain for 2 years, so we weren't working together, and then Audrey moved to a distant place. We've had times in between, but generally when we are living somewhere close, we are working together. Yeah,
Absolutely.
because it works.
It does work, absolutely.
Oh,
I mean, we went to Stansted on a number of occasions and had we had a real blast, real blast. But we weren't going to that bit.
I'm so excited that you guys are coming here together because we've gotten to experience Audrey, but you know, Shirley, you bring a whole nother level of wonderment to the world because you're doing
Absolutely.
spirit portraits.
Yeah.
I know that I am blessed. I had it done for my granddaughter, and you amazingly, not ever knowing her, not talking to her, doing it through just with an phone, not the name, and not you didn't talk to her. It was all done through postal, so that we know that your gift is ever reaching. Her mother goes, "That's my Uncle Junior."
Right, yeah.
In one of the
Yeah.
portraits. And
Yeah.
so, you know, the beauty of this is that we have two of, I think, personally, maybe I'm a little, prejudiced here, but I think we're getting the best of both worlds because you guys are going to team up to do a mediumship spirit gallery. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that again. We missed that bit.
how does it work? How do you guys manage to, because you're picking up one and then Shirley, do you link to her to get what?
No, the other way around.
No, I start to draw and pick up a link, and then when I want to get into the drawing properly, pass it over to Audrey. Audrey links in to whatever I'm doing and carries on with her amazing mediumship.
So that's how it works for us. And I feel, having watched other people work, that if they don't do it that way, if they decide it doesn't, you've got to go through the link that's already been created. It's
Right.
no good trying to come to them from a separate energy. You've got to be able to go through that. And we do it very naturally. It works for us. It works for us.
I've worked with people who refuse to let me begin. They want to be like the star of the show. Not that there is a star of the show, but that's how they feel that they are.
I'm the medium.
I'm the medium. You just draw what you're drawing.
Yeah.
And it's never worked. It's never worked that way.
No. And it shouldn't work that way.
I can see the reasoning for that because I also know that because you work together for so long, there's an element of flow and trust because you sit in circle together that you have
Absolutely.
between each other for all these years.
Mhm.
If that trust isn't there, it won't work either.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're quite right.
That's
Absolutely
correct.
not.
Yeah.
So it's
Mhm.
really powerful. We are taking for that gallery night. Right now we've got a waiting list that we're going to start taking people who want to get on the waiting list. I do feel that we're going to be in a larger location, so I'll be able to fit people in. But right now, it out probably with 2 extra because I wasn't keeping track. Okay,
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
and that's what I did. But it's really going to be a spectacular. But you're also, once you do that you're going to be doing a class on how to do art mediumship.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
because we want more psychic artists out there. That's
I think that's marvelous. What if you don't know how to draw?
it doesn't matter. I've got techniques that'll help them on the way, and then it's not as easy as just being able to draw. When I first started, I couldn't draw. I wasn't an artist. I went back to school actually when my kids was at the school, and I did my O level and A level in art, and then did a foundation course, but all the time learning new techniques and learning properly how to draw. You can't just suddenly set up and draw a decent face. It's not just like that. But there are techniques that you can use to get you on the path, and then you start to study and work at it. You need to put work in.
I know that as long as I've been doing this work, I take every class I can. People that I truly value their work. I do not join up with people that I'm really kind of not feeling comfortable. So I draw stick figures, and if you can give me techniques that'll move me past my stick figures, I would be really excited because one of the things that I've noticed in my own work is that I get impressed with some images, but I get more impressed with what they're saying. So to prove evidence, and not so much of what they look like, but their saying and their personality and gifts in another person's life. And I'd like to be able to get the pictures, and I'd like to get the names because I'm horrible at bringing forth somebody's name, you know. And I don't want to say horrible. I'm just not. That was never my go-to when I was picking up people. I was able to pick up connections and conversations of what they shared with each other. So this can really help me expand my work, which I'm really for. I think anybody who doesn't, who thinks that they already know everything about mediumship has never, their ego sometimes might get in the way.
We're all still learning.
We're all students and will be students forever because there is always something to learn.
I'm going to segue into the all students and something else to learn because you're going to help support her class.
Yes.
You're going to also help support your class, but you're going to do a trance demonstration.
I am.
People proper trance. Now, I do understand that people don't understand trance, so please give us your explanation of what happens with you with trance so that people can understand. This is not something that you learn to do in a 3-week course.
No, it's not. What happens with me is that one of my spirit guides, teacher, whatever, he will start to draw his energy quite close to me. So I go into that altered state of awareness, going to it's not a meditation. I don't go off, have a wander somewhere and see a pretty thing. I don't go smell the roses or anything like that. I go into a space, and as that condition with me deepens, I become less and less aware of the room that I'm in, the surroundings. I'm not really aware of people having conversation. I just go into that, almost like a stasis, I suppose. I just go into that quiet space. And I often find that within that, I feel a lot of healing energy, which is supporting the process of what's going on. Because, it's a blending of two entirely different things. And that has to be supported with the right energy, the right mindset. If you're in the wrong mindset, then don't sit, because you're going nowhere that day. Absolutely waste of time. Waste of time. What then happens is when the guide concerned or the communicator concerned is happy they will let you know that they're ready to converse with you. Now, I like somebody there, like Shirley or Robert, my husband, or a couple of other people who know well enough and know my guides well enough to know when we're ready to go. So they will probably speak up to the guides to say, you know, we know you're here. Thank you for joining us, whatever. And it goes from there. There are some occasions when I hear something that's being said that I actually don't agree with. And at that point, I'd be like, don't think so. You know, in my own head, what that actually does is knock the energy off. And my main guide has actually said she's trying to argue. She's trying to argue.
Well,
Doesn't
I
agree with
say
what I've
that
said. I say,
in your last visit here before we had COVID, you sat and did a trance demonstration, and you
I
let it.
did.
And I got to sit there and be next to you, which was really quite. I got the bird's eye view, and I was so excited because you're absolutely everything you described is so accurate, but you're missing one little detail that I was like, that you really start to know the shift is when they're blending with you, your face starts to shift, your voice starts to shift, your hands shift, and your sitting demeanor shifts.
Mhm.
With all of those things, they'll actually be able to see the shift happening.
Yes, hopefully, hopefully. And the other thing that you need to remember is while this blending is taking place, some of that is visible in the sense of you or perceivable in the sense that you will feel the energy change. You might see like little sparkles or something.
Or shapes
Or shapes.
faces even.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes you'll see more than one face before it actually settles down. So it's not a case of everybody sat there bored while this strange woman does what she's going to do in a minute. You know, it's not like, oh, hurry up, because there's plenty to see without.
Questions can they ask?
I always say, how can I put this without being rude? Well, is there a way to put it?
Before.
Well, I just, when I say sensible questions, I'm not going to talk to somebody about their private life. I'm not going to suggest to them that they change their job or move house or is a bloke or a female right for you. Those things are not what happen in trance. The trance demonstration is about the communication of higher consciousness, I suppose. The guides and the inspirers who work with so many of us. So it will be more about your pathway through the spirit world, your pathway through what's, you know, happening with your development, that type of thing. But there are occasions when a communicator will come through because they're that excited that their person's there and they need to make sure that they get there to let them know. So I can't guarantee anyone, nobody can, even in your normal conscious mediumship, you can't guarantee any one specific thing. And I just think, you know, you put it in their hands, you keep your integrity and your compassion as strong as you can, and let it go from there.
It's like most working with spirit altogether, isn't it? What you do is you put your trust in them and accept what they give to you.
Okay, so it's fair to say to everyone so that they really fully understand that you're going to give a talk. Spirit will give a talk, and they can ask questions regarding the talk that they give, or they can ask, you know, is there something more I can be doing?
That's right. They could be asking things like, what is it like where you are in the spirit world? how do you perceive where you are in the spirit world?
How do you feel?
What do you
Working
feel,
like this.
and how do you, how do you
Mm.
feel when you come back to the human consciousness?
Mhm.
I'm gonna not say my smart remarks, and I'll just leave that alone. Because
Good.
so let's move into, you're gonna be doing a trance class. So
Yes,
we're gonna have the art and mediumship class so people can really get control of how to link and do, and it's not necessarily a point of trying to, you don't have to have the drawing tools. So what do you come to, how do you know if you're ready to sit for trance?
well, you don't know until you start to sit.
Mm.
Often it's a good sign, or I don't think it's a good sign. Often it's a sign is when you sat in your normal circle that you're a bit away with the fairies, that you're not quite there, and you're sort of like losing track of what you're supposed, where you're supposed to be in your meditation, or you will feel somebody coming much closer to you than they normally do. Sometimes some people have got no idea that they have the capability to be a trance medium until it actually happens.
But you are offering the opportunity to have an assessment done. We've only got a few appointments that day,
Yeah,
but you are offering to
I
do
am.
assessments that will give somebody an indication. So
Yes.
if they want to learn more, or if they're ready for trance, you're
Mhm.
able to, it takes about 15 minutes to link into them to see if they're ready for trance.
Yeah.
So on trance class, what are you teaching? You're going to be teaching the foundations?
Yeah,
Be-
and we'll be working on the foundations because you need them. You've got to have the foundation in to build, or else it's all good and just crumble, isn't it? So we will be going through the basics, and we'll be going through the levels that you go through to get to that state where you can communicate with trance. So, because it's not just a case of you do that, wait a few minutes, and off you go. You're going through energetic levels, going through those levels of heightened awareness, that elevation, that lifting of the energy from the physical to the spirit. You're going through all of that. And, even the daydream state is a bit, it's taking you that direction. I mean, have you ever, I'm sure you have, um, driven somewhere and not remembered actually getting there?
Oh, I've done a lot of things like that.
I'm sure lots of you have. I don't drive, so it doesn't happen to me. But I'm sure lots of you have. Well, that's an altered state of awareness, but it's not trance.
So I agree. I want everybody to understand the importance when they're sitting for trance. Shirley gave us an indication that when you're doing the art, that she gives you the tools to get in and start doing it. If
Yeah.
you have a background in art, beautiful. If you don't, you can take classes. Trance is a little bit different because you have to make the commitment, but it doesn't happen overnight in spite of
No,
what people think. It's not
no,
a 3 week.
no,
How long does
no.
it truly take to develop this skill set on average?
Forever.
Okay, fair, but that's not what I'm asking.
Right. There are very few people, I would say, that would develop it quickly. And one of those is because they're not, they've got to prepare themselves. You've got to prepare your physical body, your mental body, and your emotional body as well. It's not just an ability. You've got to do all of this, and you've got to work on yourself. And that is an ongoing thing. I would have said that I was a good 6 to 9 months before anybody would let anybody through to speak. I knew they were there, but I was blocking it because I wasn't ready.
Well, and I can honestly say that I sat from the last one we started with 5 people who were dedicated to doing France, and
Mhm.
boiled down to two of us because they all tended to fade out. They couldn't commit. They weren't.
And that happens. And that happens.
And it does happen. And then the last one fell off almost a year ago. I think it was maybe a year ago, right in that area, a year ago. So I do know that what we're going to be asking and offering at the center is the opportunity that if people who take your class and want to sit together to develop, we are going to offer that opportunity to do follow-up, make it continue. So if they want
That's good.
the class,
That would be brilliant. That would be
that's
brilliant.
good. It gives them somewhere to focus and somewhere to go to actually get into doing trans properly.
okay, so I'm gonna tell you, we got some good mornings. We got some Rosie said good morning. Jackie
Good
Fillmore,
morning.
morning to Jackie Fillmore. And thank you to everybody who's watching. Kathy, Heidi, Rochelle, and Karen, thank you for watching. If you guys have questions, please feel free to ask them. So we're gonna go to orography classes. And I want you to talk about how an orograph is done and what they can expect as the results. We're doing past, present, and situation, and then we're doing a past life. If they get one, if they want both classes, they get a $10 deduction. So I've been hiccuping for days now.
Saying nothing. Not making a smart comment.
It's the gin.
It's legit. It's the tequila.
I'm gonna feed you lima beans.
Oh, you're not. No, you're not feeding me lima beans. Not a chance.
Oh.
Shirley,
Well,
these are your classes, correct? I mean, you're taking the lead on those classes, right?
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So explain to everyone, because this is a real good opportunity to enhance your readings with another skill set. When you orograph, what the goal is and how to why do a past, present, and situation orograph?
Well, it's like anything that you do, you focus on the past and then you focus on the present and you focus on the future. And as you are doing that, you are putting symbols, shapes, and colours onto a piece of paper that, you know, you just drawing things upside down. Yeah, you're just drawing things onto a piece of paper. And you can use pastels, pencils, oils, acrylics, anything you like, but it's just a personal remembrance for that reading, if you like, would you say?
Yeah,
It
it symbolises.
They can take it away and remember some of the information, some of the advice, some of the help that they're getting with the reading. And it just adds a little extra dimension to a reading. So
start with a little figure already on the paper, or is it just a blank paper?
a blank paper would be the starting point, because everybody that you're reading for is slightly different. So the different colours that you use, the different symbols that you use will come into your present mind, and then you put them onto the paper and tell them why they are there while you're doing that reading.
So
does that make sense?
It absolutely does. So if somebody you did a past, present, and situation, it's kind of like doing a tarot spread, past, present, and the end result. Would it be to something along that level for the reading? It would be like, look, you're dealing with a lost job. So let's look at what happened in the past and present.
How are you dealing with it now? And then what are you going to do about it in the future? Or where you're likely to be going in the future with it?
Oh, wonderful. So past is a little different though, because dealing with other lives. Do you ever catch future lives?
Future lives. Actually, I have drawn somebody that didn't exist, and they came back to me about 20 years later and said, this is my son. And they showed me my drawing that I'd done and a photograph of their son. Don't know, that works as well. It's all quite amazing. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there is the opportunity. So if you're touching into other lives, you might as well do other lives, past or future, or current.
Yes.
And is
Yes.
that also in that scenario in the past life photograph class to learn how to link it?
The past life is pretty much like a soul reading, where you would look into the past and see people maybe who were around them in the past, what they were in the past, because we don't always come back as the same person or the same sex or whatever. So it just kind of evolves into a full reading with picture of it. There might even be little cartoony pictures or just shapes and colors that mean something. Everyone's different.
Wonderful. So then we have, I'm so excited for this. I'm going to make sure, because I'm going to go through and see if anybody has questions. Nobody has a question thus far. We have your readings are all booked up for both of you ladies. So sorry,
Excellent.
folks, if you didn't get on the list. I want to talk about the fact that you guys are offering these classes at a phenomenal fee. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to throw the hard question out there, because I see this happening a lot. I see people who charge, I was doing body work, and I've had people go, oh, I charge $250 an hour for
the thing about that, Michelle, is if you're charging a fortune, the people that really need it can't get it. And we like to help people forward, not make a lot of money.
That's
we
the
have
point.
to make money because we have to live and pay bills.
Yeah.
But we don't want to make a fortune from this, and we want to see younger mediums coming up, people that have got potential, beginning and training properly.
Having access
that's
to
one
good
that's
training.
right there, training properly.
Yes. And do you know, if you look back at our pioneers within the spiritualist movement or the spiritual movement, whatever you want to call it, if you look back at them, most of them didn't have cars. They were on trams and buses or whatever. They didn't charge for whatever service they were giving. And it was they were doing what they knew they needed to do. They made that contract with spirit. And that's what it's about. It's not about how much money can I make out of these people.
Yes, we could charge an awful lot of money for what we do, but
we're not going to.
No.
I'm going to stop you right there, and I'm going to say one thing. I think it also has the bad misfortune. I know the work that y'all do. I have, I did a YouTube with Shirley that shows, and if you guys can go back to the YouTube channel, Google, or put in the search bar, Resonant Essentials, Shirley Chessman. She did a reading live on air. And I know how accurate you are. I know how accurate Audrey is. The thing that most people forget is they're not just looking for the fortune, but they want the fame.
That's right.
Something that
that's the ego at work.
And their accuracy suffers greatly for this.
I will absolutely agree with that.
Yeah. Well, once you start going on TV, which I have done TV, but as soon as you go on TV, you are expected to perform immediately for a camera, and it doesn't quite work like that. So you've either got to be an actor or you just go downhill.
You see, on
Yeah.
TV, it won't look good if you say to somebody, well, I'm sorry, but I'm not picking that up.
Yeah.
It's not going to look good, is it? It's not going to look good for the programme.
As
So,
everybody knows, we have Susan Zuma that's worked with Resonant Essentials. And she and I were talking one day, and she said, you know, she worked very closely with John Edwards back in the day when they were all just beginning. And from what I gathered from her conversation with her, he had a hard time. So he quit doing the television because he wasn't going to lie about it. And they were pissed.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
pissed.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Working
Yeah.
on them. And I tell people this about the Long Island medium. All those people are mic'd. She is not just randomly walking up to people. She has gotten their permission, and she has made
I
sure
was
that
going to say, you
Yeah.
have to sign
Mhm.
your
Yeah.
paper consent forms.
It takes all the spontaneity out.
There is no
It's
spontaneity
not
in
good.
that.
Yeah.
so it's spontaneous. And this is why the training, I think, is so important. And why I do the foundations class is because people don't understand that you can't just randomly walk up to somebody and go, I have your dad over here, because if somebody did that to me, I'd say, well, you and my dad can go have lunch together somewhere in hell, because I don't need you peeking. This is not done. This is not, oh, this is not
It
appropriate.
isn't. It's absolutely not right. I fully agree with you.
Mm.
And there are some people who seem to think that it is okay. But where is the integrity in that? Where is the honouring of spirit in that?
And that's what you guys are going to bring forward in your class. This is part
Absolutely.
of
Absolutely.
people on how to be integrous in their relation with
Yeah.
spirit and with other human beings.
I mean, if I'm not picking something up, I will actually say, well, I'm sorry, but I'm not being made aware of that, so I can't talk about it. Simple as. I'm not going to pretend I know things I don't know. Where is the point in that?
Well, I tell people all the time that I know that Spirit linked us up years ago when my son died. You had already committed to coming over. You were coming to see your sister. You said, you know, I'm interested in working your psychic fair. I said, absolutely, love to have you. My son passes away, and you had watched some of the turmoil. So when you came over, you did a gallery for a benefit for my granddaughter. But one of the things that was so devastating to me, and this is why I think this work is so important. I mean, I knew it was important when I was doing it before, but the problem was is that I was struggling with, was the first time in my son's life, or our connection in this life, that I couldn't do it. He had died, and my grief was such that I had shut so far down that I couldn't
Absolutely.
move through that. I just didn't have it in me. And I couldn't hear him. We had talked telepathically for years. And I got a reading with you while you were here. And the one thing that you had said was, your son is here, Lance is here. And he said, Mom, what is it that you would tell me if the positions were reversed? You'd say, just keep going. And I had told my son these things for years when he felt like he was falling behind or he was failing at something. It's like, just keep going, son. It'll turn out okay. You just have to keep going. So that was true. And that started me on my path of starting to reopen and recreate and build a deeper connection. And I think that people who do this work have suffered trauma.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're not, to make you a even better intuitive, you have those experiences. So now I get people who want to talk to their children. I draw them to me because I can understand, I can link, I can feel that. And I that's something that's part of our suffering, if you will, because you know, our traumas bring us to more compassion for our clients. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I quite agree with you.
And that's
Quite agree with you. And you, I mean, you find like people who work with the elderly and infirm who, you know, have dementia and things like that. When people come to them for a reading, their loved ones that have had similar experiences, brain injuries, car accident, whatever it may be, they will come in. And that's because as the medium, you have a built-in empathy for something that you've experienced.
Very well put, very succinct instead of my long conversation.
Absolutely.
You do good at summarizing me, but good.
Well, yeah, teamwork. What can I say?
So I am going to say that we, in spite of people not understanding that, they think we're closed, we're not. We are working from a temporary location. If you want to sign up for these classes, we will be sending a confirmation email out to let you know if we're in our new place or if we are still at the temporary. I'm watching my phone desperately for the lease. We've been working on it for a month. And we do have a new location. It's very centrally located for people to get to us from the east side, the west side, Santa Fe, Belen. We're very centrally located. We're right at the Big I, where we're going to be. So I'm proud to announce that we're finalizing details now. Whether or not I'm going to be able to have a serviceable space, totally.
Of course you are. And do you know what? If things that still need doing, I'll give them a paintbrush when they come in.
Yes.
Slap a bit of paint on while they're waiting for us.
I've been thinking, who cares if there's pictures on the wall as long as we have community?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, the building and what happens in it, Michelle, will not be governed by the decoration.
I agree.
It will be governed by the energy and power and the love and healing that will be generated there.
I just want to make sure that there's no trip hazards.
This is a good thing. No trip hazards, definitely not.
So if we were summarizing up our conversation today, what would you guys like them to know?
Oh,
We're looking forward to working with people.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's all we can say.
Yeah. Helping people on the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
In the nicest way
Do a
possible.
little
in
better.
the best possible way. Absolutely.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I think, don't be, I think my piece of advice, if it was advice, don't think, oh my, I couldn't do that. There's no way I'd be able to get my head around that. I don't know anything. I'm not ready for that. Don't think like that, because you're at the place that you're at, and whether you're just beginning your journey or you want a refresher or you want to push on to the next level, we're here to help. And we're both straight speaking northern people. We don't use lots of flowery words. We make it quite simple to understand us, don't we?
What?
Pam?
We'll say that I'm gonna give up my summation and say, honestly, folks, one of the things is that I've had my experience through many years. I've studied metaphysics since I was 14. I'm very excited to sit with these ladies. I'm excited to learn. I take Audrey's classes all the time because I always learn. I'm so honored to have Shirley come and stay with me. You have no idea how excited I am. They're two of the most hysterical people I know.
You're saying my full name? Yeah.
But again, it's about building community. And this is something that Resonant Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics is about, is that we're growing to bring people globally together into teaching from higher source with the best possible people that we draw forward. You don't find the school by accident. If you are interested in these classes, especially if you think you already are training with somebody, it's always a good idea to take classes from someone else, because there's always something more to learn. And sometimes it doesn't stick with the way your other instructor is teaching you. You need to have somebody who can say it in a way maybe you can hear something different and it'll break open that gift of yours
Yeah.
to a higher level. So this is the opportunity. I want everybody to know you can send me a message through Facebook. You can send a message through the website, or you can call me at 505-453-7646 so that you can sign up for these classes. They're going fast. And you cannot imagine the gift of accuracy at the rate that these ladies are willing to do the work. We are so honored.
No pressure there.
Pressure.
Oh, we are really looking forward.
We
to
are.
it. We are.
We're counting the days. In fact, we'll soon be counting the hours.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Because we actually start our journey a week on Sunday
Mhm.
because we're traveling the day before to be at the airport so that we're not hitting Monday morning traffic outside of Manchester, which is just, you don't want to be there.
Horrendous.
You don't.
Horrendous. Yeah.
So we're going the day before and we're staying in a hotel.
Before we go, I'm going to see if there's Kathy says, excited and looking forward to working with you and the energy that will be. And Kathy, thank you. She signed up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She has signed up for everything. So we
Wonderful. Thank you.
She must be a lovely lady then.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we only attract the best.
I signed up for a reading with you. I wanted to make it clear for people that I am going to get 3 more portraits out of you if it kills me.
All right.
Pretty
No
framed.
pressure at all then.
I'll
Right.
see who you bring forward because I'm excited. I'm going to get to have them, and I just
Absolutely.
want you guys to come.
We won't be long now, will we?
No, won't be long.
Won't be long now.
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you. We're going to end because I have, I think,
Yeah.
I've got 10 minutes to get across town. But that's
Right.
okay.
And we have to have something to eat because guess what?
We're sitting.
I'm sitting for trance
Yeah.
tonight.
Okay, truly. What I want you to do is I want you to when she brings the looking glass through, I want you to ask him one thing from me. Is he ready to come to Albuquerque?
We already know he's ready. Yes.
Just tell him that I'm ready to welcome him to Albuquerque and I can't wait for him to come through. But you have another one that comes through. So I haven't met him yet, but I have worked with Looking Glass. He's come through a few times. Let me make sure there's no questions. Barbara said, hurry up.
Doing our best, Barbara. Doing our best.
Yeah.
Good info. Hopefully I can experience it. And Brother Francis, that was from Brother Francis, and David joined us. So we appreciate you ladies. I love you much and I can't wait to taxi you around Albuquerque and show you all the neat areas.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So we will see you a week on Monday.
Absolutely.
Can't
Bye
wait.
for now.
Bye for now.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.